stuff going on in today's program. We've got golf. We got the U.S. Open. We got the NBA Finals. We got the final day of minicamp. Busy Thursday is June 12th, 10 to go. Hayes Carline, JJ LaSelva. I'm Frank Frangie. Busy day today.
Busy day, which we love.
Yeah.
And, good to see the Jaguars one last time. Kind of feels like the start of summer break over there because obviously now the players get some time off. And the coaches, too. What a cool trip Liam Cohen has coming up that he talked about. You know, going over to the UK to play a bunch of the famous courses over there. So a once-in-a-lifetime golf trip.
Yeah, he had told me about that before. He's going to Scotland, and I think his dad's going, and he's going with some of his buddies.
And his father-in-law.
Yeah. There's a lot of them going over, and they're very excited about that. So he told me about that probably a month ago when I asked him, what's the schedule like? What do you? And he told me, he said, that's the one we're looking forward to. They're going to go, I think they're going to Newport first, see family, and then head over to Scotland. So good for Liam. But yeah. So they finish up minicamp.
Healthy, which is great.
Healthy and with, it's still no, it's two-hand touch. There's not physical yet. So who knows? But you did feel, at least in their minds, he wanted them to leave minicamp because now they break for 5 weeks. Now they're gone till camp. I mean, that's it. They're gone. They're gone from the building. He wanted them to leave this one last time with momentum. I think if you can have momentum in June, I think he wanted to have that. And I think he felt like, just hearing him at the podium today and then watching what we watched, I sensed that was the case. Did you get that read that they left with?
Yeah, he wanted them to all
get
some confidence on the way out the door. So, yeah, I think they honed in today on things that, they had seen players doing well, and it showed. There was, there was some good moments. It was a little bit lighter of a tempo than the first 2 days, but still, some good play. Bayshore Tootin, I mean, again, who knows what the role will be, but we knew he was fast from obviously an unbelievable performance at the combine. But I mean, when he hits it, it's impressive.
He's really fast. When you asked Trevor about him, and you asked him about Trevor, he and Allen, the two rookie running backs, you asked him about them, and the first thing he goes is, Bayshore is fast. That was his first answer to you when you asked him. Trevor was at the podium today. When you asked him about that, the first thing he said was, "Whew, Bayshore's fast." So, I mean, here's a guy that's been in the NFL for 4 years now, played college football at the highest level now with Travis Etienne, who's very fast among others. And I saw the look on his face when he answered your question. He said, "Whew, he's fast." So, so it'll be interesting. We'll hear from him today on the show. Bayshore Tootin, the subject of the latest Hayes one-on-one. That comes up at about 4:40. A lot of things to get to today. Bryson DeChambeau's 3 over because, of course, he is.
That's not terrible.
It is terrible.
I mean,
you know what's good? 3 under.
Well,
you know what's good? Under. You know what's bad? Over. Over bad, under good. Okay, that's kind of how it works.
You're right. I'm done cheering you up. He's terrible.
And I think here's the best part.
You should have taken JJ Spawn.
I hadn't looked at either. I hadn't looked at the scores, but I could tell you two losers both knew. Because you just had that way about you that you kind of knew my guy was dying on the vine.
Yeah, I mean, again, forgetting the bet, Bryson DeChambeau at 3 over after today does not put him out of this tournament.
I agree.
At all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's currently 3 over puts you T74. So my guess is by the time we get to the end of the day, that'll be more like T55.
Yeah, and
I mean, he's got to go out tomorrow and at least put up an even par 70, something like that. You'd like it to be under, but that's asking a lot. But yeah, I mean, certainly not a memorable day, but he didn't shoot him. I mean, he didn't look at like some of the guys like Shane Lowry's 9 over.
Right.
I mean, there was some people that thought Shane Lowry was a good, if you're not going to pick Scheffler, give us another guy. Yeah. Lowry was, on the minds of a lot of people. He's 9 over. Cantlay really struggled. I think he's at 7 over. Justin Rose was 7. Cantlay was 6 over. So
could be a lot.
Those
worse.
Guys are out of it. But I think at 3 over, you're still probably in it.
Meanwhile, Scheffler's 1 over, and he hit this drive. I don't know what hole this is. 12 or 13 maybe. He hit a drive so far left into the rough is so hard. It's 9. My bad. He's on the 9th hole. that he's having to bang. Now, he'll bang his way out of it because he's the best player in the world, but what a mess he got himself into. I mean, it's amazing how that rough is.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
it really
can see
is.
how much on the club. He's lucky that he was able to get really anything out of that shot.
They don't have a lot of water. And there's no water on the course. There's no typical hazards on the course that you would imagine. It's just the greens are super fast, and the rough is ridiculous. That's what they're dealing with. And so Lee Smith will be with us in about 15 minutes.
I will say this: if you like watching golf and you've never watched live from on the Golf Channel, they've really, I think, taken that show to another level, because I think they've adopted the Inside the NBA format where they'll go like 20 minutes in a segment. And one of the things that they did last night that I really liked, they had a drone fly over Oakmont, and they had the architect that did the renovation kind of talking, through the changes. They literally showed an aerial view of all 18 holes. It took forever to go through it, but it was really cool to hear him talk about the changes, but also just, obviously the challenges of each hole. But anyway, so if you're a golf fan and you're not watching that, I would recommend it.
Yeah. So, but we'll have fun tracking the U.S. Open again. Lee Smith joins us in a few minutes to talk about his impressions of it and a few other things we'll get to today on the program as well. We will talk about the Jags' final day of minicamp. You'll hear from Bayshul Tootin. That's who Hayes caught up with today in his one-on-one. That comes up. In fact, we'll keep it on the NFL. Pete Prisco is going to join us today instead of tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, we're really excited about it. We're going to be out at the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout. That is tomorrow, live from St. Augustine. We went there last year and had a blast. What a wonderful job Paul Dozier and his team do on that outstanding tournament, the Old School Kingfish tournament. So, so we'll be talking a lot of fishing. We're going to drag Paul on the air. A lot of fun stuff to do tomorrow. So Pete was just at minicamp today. So we said, let's do it today. He's driving home. He just saw 2 days of it. So Pete will weigh in today on what he saw. So Lee Smith at 4:20 on the program today. Pete Prisco talking golf. Pete Prisco talking NFL. That comes up at 5 o'clock. What about the dang Pacers? I mean, we've been trying to kill them off now, have we? I mean,
what a win!
I mean, what a win! What a fourth quarter! When we're doing our best to say they can't hang. We do it about every series. We may look up and they're the damn champions. You compared it to the Florida thing where they don't win, they don't lead for very many minutes, but when the game's over, they have more points than the other team, and somehow they keep doing it. That's how Florida won the national title in basketball, in college basketball. And I'm telling you, how about the Pacers? I didn't think there's any way they'd win last night. I shows you what I know. When the Thunder got out fast, I thought it wasn't even worth watching. You blink and it's over, and the Pacers have won the game. What a performance! Yeah,
the Pacers outscored the Thunder 32-18 in the fourth quarter, and that was the difference. They won by 9. So they were able to really find some elite defense late, and it's hard to believe you could hold the Thunder to 18 points in a fourth quarter with all the weapons that they have. But yeah, to Indiana's credit, they did it, and they're now in control of the series.
Loser money got a little closer. Loser money tightened up a bit. It's still, the order's still the same, but
I don't think it did.
Yeah, no.
Well, Frank had the worst night of the
Frank,
so it tightened up in that.
Yeah,
I still think he's fine, but his gap narrowed.
I had 40 points. Hayes had 55. JJ had 54. So y'all's gap didn't change any.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the gap so it was 167, 150, 124. So it got a little closer. Hey, this thing's a marathon. That's the beauty of that loser Monday.
And I could see this going 7. Yeah.
Boy, it's got that feel to it, doesn't it? It really has the feel of one that can go very, very long. I agree with that. So it'll be in. But I'll say this: with them winning last night, now, not that it wasn't anyway, but now it's a damn good series.
Oh yeah.
Even when they won the first game, JJ, you and I talked about this. I still worry they might get blitzed. Yeah, fluky and get blitzed after.
Last night was anything but fluky.
Well, now we know. Now it's a series because the Thunder aren't getting beat in 5. So the Thunder are coming back, whether they win tomorrow in Indy or not, they're coming back. So all of a sudden, it's a heck of a series.
Yeah, momentum.
Yeah, if somebody wins a series in 6 games, that can still be an excellent series. I mean, it doesn't have to go 7. But I'm sort of thinking like JJ is. I think this absolutely might go 7 games.
Well, it's got that written all over it. I mean, if ever a series had about to go 7 written all over it, this one does. And I will tell you too, this has been. the Halliburton fourth quarter. He is a guy. He is hard. It's an unusual game because at times he disappears. Now I'll say this: I thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander disappeared more than he had. I know he finished with 24 points.
He looked gassed at the end.
He looked gassed at the end and sluggish to start.
Yeah.
I don't think he scored. I think his first points, there were 2 minutes left in the quarter.
He wasn't even like everybody else had the ball in their hand the first 10 minutes of the game except for SGA. And you're thinking, okay, maybe they're just like making sure that he's going to be fresh later in the game. And it was the opposite of that. And it was like that for everybody on OKC except for maybe Jalen Williams. They all like completely lost it. And just the defense from the Pacers was fantastic. The little amount of time that TJ McConnell's in the game, he makes such a difference out there. He had 3 inbound steals that all turned into baskets every single time. And like that was the difference in the game. Plays like that and Nembhard on defense, they're just a great overall team. And it's like you said about Halliburton, he's not a volume scorer. So when you think of like stars in the NBA, you think about a guy who's going to average 25 points a game. He's never been that. He's not going to be that. So there is times in the game when you're like, oh, he hasn't scored in a quarter. Yeah. But he's still making plays that help his team. He's a great player. I love him.
And their bench. Bathurin, am I saying his name right?
Mathurin was spectacular last night.
27 points for him. McConnell, too, like you said, had 5 steals. He was active. Their bench was fantastic. It really was. It was again. You might look up and go. They just won the game, just like with the Gators in college. No one expected them, and all of a sudden you looked up and it was over, and they were hoisting the trophy. This might be the case. Though.
Would be the biggest upset since 2004 when the Pistons beat the Lakers.
Pretty amazing. It'd be pretty amazing. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that. But if nothing else. If you didn't know before, and maybe we did, maybe we didn't, it's now a series. There's no debating it. There's no discussing it. It is now a very good series. So I can't wait. I'll say this. It's not like me that I can't wait for the next one, but I can't wait for the next one. Don't you feel that way?
Absolutely. Can't wait to watch.
Friday night?
Yeah, Friday night. So we'll see. All right, we got lots to talk about today on the program. Glad you're with us. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, JJ LaSelva. I do want to remind you one more time. We'll be talking about it throughout the course of the day. But we're really excited about being at that Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. We'll be at the Boathouse in St. Augustine tomorrow. You can still register for that thing, by the way. Go to oldschoolkingfish.com. The grand prize is a 21-foot Yellowfin bay boat, all kind of prizes, a trailer valued at $125,000. How about this? Over $240,000 in cash and prizes.
Awesome.
Let me read it again.
Yeah.
$240,000. I mean, there's really all kind of good stuff. The Nimnik $10,000 lucky ticket drawing. There's all kind of fun stuff. So we'll tell you all about it. We'll be there tomorrow. Again, we'll get our friend Paul Dozier to stop by and talk all about it. But it's the Kingfish event in the Jacksonville area now. It is the one, and they do a fantastic job with it. They really, really do. So we're looking forward to being down there tomorrow. But when we come back, Lee Smith stops by to talk golf, the U.S. Open, and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Sports sounds better on radio.
I love it. I love it.
You get the most live sports on 1010XL.
Pizza to Tea here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch? From lunch to late night, only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Stick around after the sunset, and Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Come on, somebody.
This is Hayes Carline for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. they'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Got a leaky faucet? AC blowing hot air? No worries. Duck Rooter has your back. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, AC, and a whole lot of quacking good service.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between a patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
Love is in the air. Beards Diamonds. Listen up, couples. Got you a great offer. Hicken here. For a limited time, buy one, get one free on all wedding bands. That's right. When you buy his wedding band, get hers free. Buy hers, get his free. Save up to $10,000, man. Are you about to get married? Been married for years, thinking it's time for an upgrade? Don't miss the deal of the year on the ultimate symbol of love. Beards has hundreds of bands, top designers, white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, titanium, platinum, plain bands, channel set bands. You get the idea. Nobody has a bigger or better selection of wedding bands than Beards. So get to Beards now. Find the wedding band that reflects your style and your personality. Buy one, get the second one free. The big box corporate jewelry stores can't or won't do this, but Beards can, and it's happening through June 23rd. Buy one wedding band, get the second one free. Don't miss this opportunity to celebrate your eternal love with the eternal symbol. For a limited time, buy one, get one free on all wedding bands. That's right. When you buy his wedding band, get hers free. Buy hers, get his free. Shop local. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center.
I'm Drew Scrimshire, president and publisher of the Jacksonville Business Journal. In business, timing is everything. That's why every morning at 8:15, our morning edition delivers the most important business news straight to the inboxes of Jacksonville's decision makers, executives, entrepreneurs, investors, and industry leaders. Want to know what the First Coast power players are reading before they start their day? Join them. Subscribe today to the Jacksonville Business Journal Morning Edition at bizjournals.com/Jacksonville.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
At IHRS, we're passionate about solving your hair loss. We're clients too. With the latest hair transplant technology, FDA-approved laser hair therapy, and PRP, we guarantee solutions for both men and women. Call now for a free consultation and receive $250 off. Hair restoration is for me, and it can be for you too. Go to hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477.
Find out what new golf equipment could help your game.
Well, I'm just a humble golf pro. Could I help you?
Get great golf tips and talk from the experts on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Got to figure out why I'm still shaking the ball.
Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Stanley Pools Thursday on The Frangie Show. Since 1988, the experts in pools, pavers, screen enclosures, it's Stanley Pools.
Welcome back to the program. Glad you're with us. Lee Smith is here to talk a little golf with us as the U.S. Open continues along. How are you, buddy?
Doing great.
Good to see you.
Doing great. Feel good.
You feel good? We got the tournament going on.
I haven't seen you. Are you, coming back from the vacation? Obviously, I hadn't seen you. I mean, it's the energy's right. The color's right. Everything's
energy's in there somewhere.
Okay.
I think I got to reach back and get it. So this is the time of year that you got to kind of recharge a little. One vacation, come back for a couple of days and take another. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, that's right.
I told Lee, what I've done is, I got the new putting green. So all I'm doing is putting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still a really crappy putter, but at least I do it a lot now. Okay. You know what I've gone to, by the way? By the way, putters, and you know this better than anybody. Is good. Lee is a really good player, probably scratch player, but you've gone crazy trying to figure out putting, right? I mean, you told me that,
absolutely.
right?
Look, I got to a place. I think it was in the year 2000. I switched had putted right-handed my whole life and have now putted left-handed longer than I've putted right-handed.
Yeah,
So I'm a lefty putter. It was, I was going to have to become a radio show host or something if I didn't switch to left-handed. So
you said you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Why did that change help?
It well, first of all, there's a feel thing, and those in the biz call it the yips more than anything, Hayes. That you and I think technically your brain kind of anticipates contact, and you're really scared of what's going to happen when the ball leaves the face. So it's becomes not as much of a technical thing, in my opinion. Some teachers would say that there's no such thing. I think a lot of players would argue that there is a such thing as, just a mental block that doesn't allow you to do it. And I tried everything from different grips to different lengths to all of those types of things. And for one reason or another, left-handed help. Now, there is kind of a scientific thing to where depending on your eye dominance can help you, because you're obviously looking at it from a side view. That one eye looking at the line of the putt can help if you're right eye dominant or left eye dominant.
Yeah, I've gone, but the mental thing with putters with golfers, I've gone left hand low. I not done because that takes the right hand out of it a little bit, and it's made a little bit of a difference. So we'll see. And I mean, I still played crappy, but I didn't have nearly as many 3-putts. So I don't think I had a 3-putt in the last 2 rounds. How about that?
That's really good.
So I haven't had a 3-putt.
Well, look, at the end of the day, Frank, for you, I know we've talked about this, but a player at a level of shooting right around 80, when you play well, maybe a couple under that, or you play poorly, 85.
That's right.
Getting rid of penalty shots, 3-putts, and anything more than bogey.
That's right.
Getting rid of double bogeys and above, penalty shots and 3-putts will put you typically in the score range you want to play.
That's exactly right. If I tell myself no 3-putts, no doubles, it's probably going to be. I'm probably going to shoot at worst 82.
Yeah.
If I tell myself that. So all right, you've watched the Open so far. Tell us about Oakmont. There's no water, yet it's treacherous. The roughs are really hard and the greens are really fast. You know all these courses. Tell us about Oakmont.
Yeah, really, really big area, big property. Gil Hands, they call him the Open Doctor because he's done now multiple Open courses in a row, and really known as kind of a revival expert. That he comes in. They, used to have a ton of trees there and got rid of all the trees. I think the deforestation of golf courses, some people really, really like, and some people don't. But yeah, I think the rough is getting certainly a lot of attention, at 5+ inches. But I think one of the things that people maybe listen that don't understand about that golf course is a third of the holes, which this is very rare, a third of the holes, the greens actually slope from front to back. Oh. So, we're very used to playing 95% of golf courses, the predominant break is from back to front.
That's a great point. I haven't thought about that.
So you get used to that. But on this golf course, especially, you see either 1 or 10. But the one that Maxwell Moldovan made the eagle on, that we'll see that shot a million times. I mean, he landed the ball short of the green. The ball trickles onto the front and just keeps trickling and trickling and trickling. And that's really kind of a mental thing. That when you stand on the green, typically that if I'm on the left side of the hole, the ball is going to break left to right because it's sloping from back to front. But sometimes you don't read that type of thing. But I think there's like 6 holes where it slopes front to back. But really, really difficult golf course. Has a history of playing. I think maybe Cabrera won at 5 over or something of that nature. I think I saw the last 10 years or so of Opens, other than the really, really windy day at Shinnecock, this is the hardest opening round score that we've seen. Like 4+ over par is average. So, to me, if I was the USGA, it's probably right where they want it.
Yeah, I would imagine.
With a couple of good rounds, but 1 over par is right in the middle of the action.
Scheffler was such a heavy favorite coming in. He's 2 over right now. Where were you on that in terms of Scheffler versus the field and things like that? And who are some other players that you felt like could contend going to Oakmont?
Yeah, a couple of guys, and I made sure to jot them down before play went out, so I didn't get accused. But the players that I thought, which the Schefflers fall right in the middle of this, that would play are the ones that have a great combination of distance and accuracy. And so a guy, to me, I think a couple of players to keep an eye out for, and I think one of them's playing relatively well, but Sam Burns is a guy that hits it long and somewhat straight off the tee, is a really, really good putter as well. Maverick McNeely, I think, is another guy that could play well. I don't know what he shot today. I think he was over par at one point, but a guy that combines distance and accuracy. Ludwig is another one of those. And obviously outside of the Scotties and Brysons and Rorys of the world. But I think those are some players that when you can combine accuracy with length solely off the tee, because I think it's with the rough the way it is, it just seems like it's a tee shot golf course that if I can put it in the fairway, I can get somewhat aggressive. Now, maybe later in the week, it seems like it's drying out a little bit. The second shots will become a little bit harder. But I think the tee shot's going to be the most important one.
Lee, what do you make of where Rory was going into this thing with all the concerns, and all of a sudden he was playing so great, and then all of a sudden he wasn't, and then he didn't interview or didn't talk to the media? What do you make of the whole Rory thing?
Yeah, I would put it, Frank, into a position of all players and their obligation to the media to start with. I think it's players aren't mandated to do it. As fans, we want to hear it. Those in the media have a job to do also. Everybody's got a job to do. The fans want to hear it. Players have a job to do, all of those types of things. So, I think it's one of those things that Rory's not wrong. But at the same time, I think Rory steps back and when the opportunity presents itself for him to speak to the media, he knows that the fans, that's what they want to hear is they want to hear, what these elite athletes have to say in triumph and tragedy. But as far as like where his game is, I don't know. I think I don't know that I believe that he has less of a desire. I think that's maybe just something that he's using to get him pumped up to say, hey, I played poorly for a couple of weeks, especially at an event that I expected to play well at Quail Hollow. I was hoping to play better. And then, at an event like the Canadian Open where he's had success, not necessarily the golf course, but at an event. And now all of a sudden you saw this morning he played a really, really good 9 holes and struggled coming in. But I think you guys talked about it. 2 over, 3 over, 4 over. You're 66 away from being right in the middle of this thing.
You mentioned Cabrera 5 over in 07. Dustin Johnson 4 under when he won it here in 2016. But apparently that was like the easiest that Oakmont can play. Like the conditions that week, weather-wise, it was as soft as it could possibly play. So with that in mind, where do you think the winning score will be come Sunday evening?
I would feel very comfortable sitting at even right now.
Wow.
I think, as the golf course gets a little bit firmer, as long as they don't get looks like there might be a storm maybe Saturday or something of that nature, but it looks like just the way that they play, I'm sure they're not going to top off the rough too awful much. So it's going to, get another quarter inch every day. And so that ball just goes a little bit deeper and deeper, and the greens get firmer and firmer. I think one of the underestimated things is that, when the greens get firmer, remember the fairways get firmer. And so those balls that land 2 yards from the edge now bounce into the heavy rough as opposed to stay in the first cut, on Saturday and Sunday. So I wouldn't feel bad about, putting 4 rounds of even together and taking my chances.
Final thing about that, I'm going to ask you some other things. But J.J. Spawn is leading the tournament, at least for now. We saw J.J. kind of at his best, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Did you get to know him a little bit during all that?
Didn't really get to know him, but certainly shook hands with him, congratulated him. And when you saw there was a time where JJ was top of the leaderboard and Rory was second on the leaderboard today, and it was like we've seen those two guys play before.
Right. It's pretty cool stuff. Hey, tell me about that kind of the drone tracer thing that we saw last week.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that came about.
Yeah, it's a really cool piece of technology, Frank, that the PGA Tour has worked on for a long time in creating that. So, really it's an innovation that follows the golf ball, upon contact, not only with a drone, but also with the TrackMan data to combine those two things. And that's really the tracer that you see, when, during PGA Tour events. And it was an Emmy Award-winning thing a few weeks ago. The PGA Tour was up with NBC and CBS and won an Emmy. And then the evolution of that, I don't know if you saw at the Canadian Open, but this technology, even though it's owned and built by the PGA Tour, was actually used at the U.S. Women's Open. So the USGA used it, as well as the PGA Championship used it for the men's tournament. But what was recently put in was now basically a predictor. If you watch the Canadian Open, that tracer turns colors, and it turns green if the ball's predicted to land in the fairway, and it turns red if it's predicted in the rough, right, while it's in the air. And the technicals of that, which I think are super interesting, is 1.2 seconds after the ball is struck, the predicting data provides probabilities with all of the TrackMan data or all of the launch data provides the probabilities of whether that golf ball is going to land in the fairway or in the rough.
Wow.
And every 100 milliseconds, it updates with those probabilities, and it'll turn, that arrow red if it's going to end up in the rough and green if it's going to end up in the fairway. I think it's just another one of those innovations to watch golf that I think is a really cool part of bringing technology to the game.
Pretty amazing stuff, really. His final thing, the Red Coat program, which is so kind to so many charities all over Jacksonville. And thank you, by the way. We completed our golf tournament, and the players are such a great friend to Walk Off Charity, so thank you for that. I mean,
Absolutely.
You know how much that means to me.
Yep.
But beyond that, the Red Coats help so many. The program is now closed now, but I know you guys will be helping folks all over town as always.
Yeah, obviously this is why we're so proud of the Players Championship, is the opportunity for the Red Coats, who, as you know, are our former and past chairmen, who are so important not only to the Players Championship but vital as business leaders in the community. But every year we have a grant program for them. The application window was open. Last year we received 150 applications. This year we received 205 organizations that applied for a Red Coat grant. It closed just a couple of days ago. Here in just about a month, we'll have a deliberation with all the Red Coats and go through all those applications, and hopefully by end of summer or early fall, be able to reach out to those organizations and provide the well needed gifts to the local charities that need it.
Well, the Red Coats and you guys do a great job with that. The Players is very, very committed, $9 million plus to local charities, which is pretty amazing stuff. Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players, and our golf analyst. Lee, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
We'll talk some Jaguars football after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This U.S. Open update on 1010XL is brought to you by TopDressing.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 125th U.S. Open Golf Championship, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. J.J. Spahn holds his lead at Oakmont after a 4-under round of 66. The winner of the 2022 Valero Texas Open had no bogeys on his card today. South African Tristan Lawrence is one back at 67 despite a double at the ninth. Siwoo Kim shot 68 today, 2 under, 4 birdies, and 2 bogeys. The current leaderboard shows Sung Jae Im at -3 while still on his front nine. Rasmus Niergaard Peterson of Denmark also at -3 with a birdie at 1 and an eagle at 4. He is also playing the front nine. With this report on the U.S. Open, I'm Whit Watson, Westwood One Sports.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. It makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Showtime is now accepting cards for PSA grading submissions on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Stop in on one of those 3 days to meet with Seth and Maria. 1 to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for PSA grading at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Frank Frangie here. I've known the Parman family for years, and what stands out is how they run Big Chief Tire. It's not just about tires. It's about showing up, doing the work, and taking care of people. That's the culture they've built over 4 generations. When you walk into Big Chief, you're treated with honesty, respect, and real hometown service. That's how Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling. Schedule your next appointment at WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
To catch more fish, you gotta think like a fish. Captain Kevin and the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services, and awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com.
Offices, Jacksonville.
Watch the Stanley Cup Final at the brand new Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo. Specials include $1 wings and $3 drafts for the Stanley Cup Final at Front Runners Tap House.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Pick it here with a game winner. It's Checkmate Coatings. I've scouted them all. And this Jacksonville crew's the real deal.
I'm Brendan, owner of Checkmate Coatings. We transform pool decks, driveways, and patios with pro precision.
Score big at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes. Driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
I think this is a big 5 weeks coming up for Anton Harrison, because if there is a player, I think going into the break that probably needs to figure some things out, it's Anton Harrison. And Liam Cohen, I thought, made that pretty clear yesterday when he met with reporters. He was asked, what have you seen from Anton Harrison? And part of his answer is when Anton wants to go, he can go. Well, you never want to hear a head coach phrase it like that. And because obviously that calls into question commitment, work ethic, and things like that. So Anton Harrison, young player still, but I think it's time to have a reset and kind of have a different mental state of mind when you show up July 23rd for the start of training camp.
I think it's well said. And I look, we all have sources and contacts. I don't think it's any secret that he might be one of the few guys that maybe didn't come in the shape they had hoped. I mean, maybe has some work to do, more than you would have expected from an incumbent starter. And hopefully that'll be, to your point, Hayes, hopefully that'll be the wake-up call. I think what you said is and hopefully that all got his attention. What you hope is that it did. So we'll see. But you're 100% right. This is a first-round draft pick, and it's a talented guy. It's a first-round draft pick who is a talented guy. So yeah, you're exactly right about that. So all right, speaking of Jaguar players, Bashul Tootin is an interesting guy, a running back who can really run. I mean, really run. They drafted two running backs. They drafted the Allen kid from Syracuse a little bit later on. But Bashul is a guy that has my attention. He's thick. He's well built. He's got a little Maurice Jones-Drew look to him. He's lightning fast. And I think there's some people that have high hopes. The former Virginia Tech Hokie, he's the subject of this Hayes Carlyon one-on-one.
We are pleased to be joined with Jaguars running back Bashul Tootin here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to meet you. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, too. I'm doing very well.
It's been so much fun watching you play. How's it been going so far?
It's been going well. I'm getting a playbook down, out here practicing on, the pro level. I love it a lot. So, I'm just blessed and, grateful for the opportunity.
It seemed like a couple good plays out there today for you. I know it was a little lighter intensity, but how'd you feel like it went for you out there today, Bashul?
I think it went pretty well. I honed in on my details, finishing, showing my speed and, the patience that I can have as a runner I'm trying to practice on. So I think overall today, with the way I practice, I'm pretty satisfied with it.
Bucky Irving had such a fantastic rookie year last year in Tampa Bay under Coach Cohen's guidance. Is there anything that you have been able to take out of Bucky Irving's play? Anything that in your game that translates to what he was able to do to be so successful?
I think just patience. Like you said, he was under this offense before. So just, running with patience, letting the holes, show when they come, and then, hitting them full speed is just, what I'm trying to take and implement into my game.
What are some things that you'll work on, now that you've got a little bit of time, and it's been such a whirlwind start to the season with the draft process, but what will be some things that you work on over these next 4 weeks before training camp begins?
First and most important, the playbook. Learn it like the back of my hand, day in and day out. And then, just getting in condition, staying on the field, just bursting, just being in the best shape I could be, coming back with the mental shape that I need to be as well.
What's the biggest growth that you'd like to see in terms of that playbook? Is it pass protection? Walk us through kind of the biggest challenge you think for yourself mentally as you get ready for training camp.
I think the biggest goal I have for the playbook is just like I said, basically learning all the schemes, pass blocking, pass routes, run concepts, the way we block it up. So just learning the playbook through and through is, my main focus. I'm not really, breaking it off to, pass pro or, run game. I'm kind of trying to tackle it all so I can be well-rounded.
How are you liking Jacksonville? Have you gotten a chance to see any of the city? I know it's been a real whirlwind.
I ain't get to explore much. I don't got a vehicle down here, but from the looks of it, it's pretty nice. I went down to Jacksonville Beach, got a little walk in there. So just from, a little traveling I could do out here, it's pretty nice.
What's ETN and Bigsby, what have you been able to pick up from those two veterans?
Just their playbook knowledge. They know the game very well, high football IQ. So I noticed that, and I'm, trying to build up to that, and they're great leaders. So, just trying to, lead in their footsteps and follow in their footsteps, I'd say, to, be the better running back I could be.
Is it cool having Lee Quinn in there, too, another running back that's in the draft class?
Yeah, it's very cool. Two guys from, South Jersey. So just being at the same pro, team, it's just amazing for us, a milestone that we see.
What was a great college experience that you had in terms of a game? If a Jaguar fan wanted to go watch one of your games from your college experience, what's a game that you're especially proud of?
I would say Boston College Week 7 last season. I broke the single game rushing record. I think that was my best performance. But another game is Miami. It was a great game all around. I think we went to the last wire. So both of those games I played pretty well in.
Basically, from a conditioning standpoint, endurance, it's so tough. You play a college season, you have to get ready for the draft process, all the interviews that go along with that, the combine, pro day. You come here, you get drafted, go through OTAs. Where's your body at this point? Do you need a rest?
I wouldn't say I need a rest. I think my body's built up pretty well. You do take, at this time, you take a couple days off, let your body rest because we got a long season coming up. But I think, with last college season, the draft process, minicamp and stuff, my body feels, pretty well.
What's it been like seeing Travis Hunter and what he's trying to do in terms of playing at a high level on both sides of the ball?
I like it. I think it'll help us. He's out here, he's playing offense, and he's producing our offense, and then, go to defense, and, just drop a couple of our wideouts and, playing at a high level on defense. So, getting them into the game in season, having them play a two-way like that, I think it'll really help us.
What stood out to you about Trevor Lawrence?
He's a great leader. He tries to help, the younger guys, even the vets in the room, try to make sure we're all on the same page. So I think he leads by example, and he knows his stuff.
Bashul Tootin, thank you so much for your time. Have a great break, and we'll look forward to seeing you when training camp gets here.
Thank you.
That 4.32 speed was evident today. And again, not that it was a high-intensity workout, but he broke through a couple. He had a nice run and had a nice run after a catch. And, he hit the afterburners. He took it to the end zone on both and was certainly displaying that in an incredible career. collegiately. Started at North Carolina A&T, transferred to Virginia Tech for his final 2 years, and was just incredible last year. Averaged 6.33 yards per carry for the Hokies, and had 25 rushing touchdowns over his last 2 years combined. So just an incredibly productive player. Also, gives you something in the receiving game. Had 4 receiving touchdowns these last couple of years at Virginia Tech. So explosive player. I think Liam Cohen, he was asked about Tootin yesterday and kind of said, it's going to take time, for these guys to get up to speed with what we're asking. But if Bashal Tootin, and I liked his demeanor in that interview, it seems like he's got some confidence to him and is excited to put the work in to master the playbook. I think by the time we get to the end of the season, I think Bashal Tootin is their leading rusher, and I don't think it's going to be close.
It would not surprise me. I may not be quite there yet, but it would not surprise me if he winds up being their guy. I've got a lot of respect for Bigsby and Etienne, and so I think they're 2 good backs. But I certainly, at the very least, think Bashal Tootin's going to be in that mix with them. To average, you said 6.3 yards a carry. Nobody regularly gets 4 or 5 yards. Nobody. Nobody regularly gets 5 yards on a carry. So to average 6 yards, that means there's a bunch of those 60s and 70s and 45s and 50s in it. You know that? I mean, if you average 6.3 yards, it's not because you're getting 6 yards every time you handle it. It's because you got a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 7, a 2, and a 75.
Right.
That's what you have when you average that. And so that's what you look for with a guy like that. It really is. So it'll be certainly fun to watch, and I know we're all looking forward to it. All right, got a lot more NFL to talk about. Pete Prisco was here from CBSSports.com to watch 2 straight minicamp practices. He's on his way back home to South Florida now, but after the break, we'll check in with Pete on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This U.S. Open update on 1010XL is brought to you by TopDressing.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 125th U.S. Open Golf Championship, brought to you by Fisher Investments. Calm conditions at Oakmont Country Club, perhaps allowing a few more players under par than expected at the 2025 U.S. Open. J.J. Spawn posted a 4-under round of 66 in the morning, which looked invincible until the afternoon wave. Sungjae Im and Rasmus Niergaard Peterson have climbed to 3-under, still on the front 9. Im made birdies at 12, 13, and 14. Patrick Reed and Matthew Pavon are 2-under, still on the front. Brooks Koepka made eagle at 4 and then a bogey at 10. He is 1-under. Spawn at -4. Tristan Lawrence at -3. An increasing number of players under par, 16 at the moment. With this report on the U.S. Open, I'm Whit Watson, Westwood One Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Experience professional grade at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. That's right, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. Nimnik also has the largest selection of GMC's impressive SUV lineup, like the all-new redesigned GMC Acadia and the highly sought-after Yukon and Yukon XL. Curious about an EV? Well, you can save big with the all-new GMC Hummer EV SUV and truck, plus the all-new GMC Sierra EV. Now with cash incentives, now is the time to take an EV test drive. So shop at Nimnik today. That's Nimnik Buick GMC. Who's got the best prices, the best products? Nobody but Nimnik. We are professional grade GMC. Hi folks, I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
I'm Julie Harrell. I grew up here in Jacksonville and have seen our city grow as well as the number of car crashes. If you need help after a crash, choose a law firm with an actual office here. Lawyers you can meet with face-to-face and who specialize in personal injury. At Harrell & Harrell, we've been here for nearly 40 years, developing relationships with local doctors, law enforcement, helping people just like you. If you've been injured in a crash, call Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Tucker Equipment Rental in Neptune Beach. You just don't rent quality machines, you rent quality customer service. Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Dave. Tucker Equipment Rental has been supplying Jacksonville with equipment and event rental for over 50 years.
From commercial and homeowner projects, we've got what you need: lifts, dirt equipment, and landscape equipment.
And don't forget about event rentals, from festivals to weddings to backyard barbecues.
Local, knowledgeable, and always ready to help.
Tucker Equipment Rentals.
You need it, we've got it. Come see us.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, every day feels like the weekend. Fresh, never frozen chicken wings, tossed in over 30 bold flavors, paired with ice-cold beer and handcrafted cocktails. All in a laid-back, beachy atmosphere. And with every game on the big screens, it's the ultimate escape. And you're home for sports, too. Great food, cold drinks, and all the games. That's Hurricane Grill and Wings. Escape the ordinary and find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
If you miss an interview, it'll be waiting for you on demand.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Search where you find podcasts.
And at 1010XL.com.
Trained by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I-9 Sports is geared up for fun for kids all over the First Coast with summer and fall registration now open. Kids ages 3 to 17 can get in the gym or on the field with I-9 Sports, covering Clay, Duval, St. John's. And I-9 has all-girls flag football at Oakleaf, UNF, Fletcher, and Creekside. Plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast to take advantage of. Don't miss out. Registration now open for summer and fall at I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. It's been a few months since they built my custom closet. Even my family is obsessed. And with Father's Day right around the corner, why not surprise Dad with his own custom garage workspace? Tool storage, workbenches, the whole works. Closets by Design creates custom solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. That includes Dad's. Call to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal. Pretty nice weather we're having, huh?
You think this is nice?
I mean, it's sunny, warm. We do live in Florida.
It's not all upside, Jason. Warm weather comes, so all the cool people hit the beach. My old air conditioner craps out, so it's 1,000 degrees inside, and I'm stuck on a video call in my underpants trying not to sweat through my...
Wait. Put these sunglasses on.
I'm not going to put on your...
Whoa. The air conditioning experts at Bueller Air and Plumbing can keep your home office cool and comfortable all summer long. You look good in your meeting? Impress the big guy with your cool confidence? Maybe finally make assistant deputy regional manager.
Wow, air conditioning can do that?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all summer worried the weather is going to be too nice, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Today, the 125th U.S. Open began up at Oakmont Country Club outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The course, being one of the toughest challenges in all of golf, will feature two Florida Gators. First off, Noah Kent, an incoming junior at the University of Florida, made his second start in a major this year after playing in this year's Masters tournament. During Kent's first round, he carded a 10 over 80 as he gets ready for his afternoon tee time tomorrow. This Open also features Trevor Gachewski, the high school senior from Omaha, Nebraska, who will be a freshman at Florida in the fall, makes his first appearance in a major at Oakmont shortly after winning the U.S. Junior Amateur title. Gachewski also shot a 10 over during his opening round earlier on today. Sung Jae Im currently leads the tournament at 5 under par. It's 86 degrees at 4:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On The Frangie Show.
All right, head to Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. I don't care who it is you root for. I don't care who your team is. Showtime can take care of it for you. They're located at the corner of Phillips and Shad. They do a fantastic job. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But I'm telling you, they've got everything in there. It's a big, beautiful store. Head to Showtime. You'll be awfully glad you did. Pete Prisco joins us now after being here for 2 days. Are you driving back? Or are you like en route right now?
No, I made it home already.
Oh, you're back. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So,
yeah, I book it when I
go. Pete, big picture from 10,000 feet. You saw the team for 2 days. I know it's touch football right now. There's nothing physical, so you can't tell a lot. But what did you think walking away?
Well, I think the staff and the way they coach, it looks totally different. And you come away impressed with how they handle things. At least in my book, I think Campanelli's going to be a big help for a bad defense from a year ago. Does a lot of different things, gets creative, and in turn, he gives the offense a bunch of looks to work on. And so I think that's the biggest difference for me. Is it looks more like you wanted to look from a coaching standpoint in terms of like the defensive coordinator particularly, because last year was a disaster. And in talking to Josh Hines-Allen yesterday, he loves Campanelli. He loves what they're doing. And so I think from that standpoint, it's the biggest change. But look, offensively, I think they're going to be good. If the line's the question, and does the right tackle show up? Does Walker Little take his game up a notch? I think those are questions. But if they hold up, I think they're going to put points up.
You got a chance to spend some time with Trevor Lawrence. What'd you take away from that conversation, and what are your expectations for him moving forward?
Well, he's excited about the offense, number one, and more freedom at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be able to do a lot of different things. He's going to, and that's one thing Baker Mayfield told me about Liam Cohn's offense. But a year ago, under Canales, he wasn't allowed to do much at the line of scrimmage, and last year he was able to do a lot. And I asked Trevor about that, and he said, "Yeah, it's great. You got to come to the line of scrimmage, and you got answers before you even get to the line of scrimmage. You got answers for what they're going to do, and if they do that, you check for this." And he's excited about it, and he says he's healthy, which he has to stay healthy. The sleeve was precautionary. Everybody has arm soreness this time, but I think he's excited about working in this offense and the speed that he has on the outside.
Pete, did you see enough of Travis Hunter to get any kind of an opinion? And what are your expectations for him? Play load the whole bit this year.
Well, he looks great as a wide receiver. I think he's got to, refine his route running, and that's something I don't think he ever was really taught at Colorado. So that's going to be a challenge for him. But he grabs the football. He's a natural pass catcher. He uses his hands. He knows how to sit down. He knows how to come back to the ball. So, and he's going to be one of those guys when he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to go make plays. Cornerback today was interesting because he's such a natural over there, and it looks easier for him over there. And I think you're going to see him play a lot more corner than we think right now. I really do. I think, you might see him play 30 snaps or 35 snaps on that side of the ball, and I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought he'd be much more of a wide receiver, but I think he's going to play both and not just strictly play every play on the offensive side of the ball.
Do you think Brian Thomas Jr. could be poised for an even bigger second act?
That's the one thing coming out of there that I said to myself, and I said it to some others, I might have said it to you guys, but he's getting cheated, and it's unfair to him because everybody's focused on Travis Hunter, and granted, it's a great story. They traded up to get him. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's got all that personality. But Brian Thomas is the star. Brian Thomas, to me, is going to be in the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson class. I think he has that ability. And in talking to Trevor about him, he said it's amazing where he's gone this year in terms of his change and his ability and what he does. I talked to Edgar Bennett for a little while. They rave about the kid. And it's almost like he's getting cheated because he's not getting the attention he deserves and how good he can possibly be. They have their he's the number one wide receiver. And, people keep focus on Hunter and wide receiver. But I don't care if Hunter plays 60 snaps on offense. Brian Thomas Jr. is the number one wide receiver and can be one of those elite wide receivers in the NFL.
So now that we're 5 weeks from camp, they've broken now. They get the little bit of vacation time they now get. Everybody relaxes. What do you think they will be? I don't need a number. I don't need a record, but pretty good team, average team, struggle again. I mean, and I'm going to ask you this 5 more times, Pete, during training camp and the early part of the season. But for now, what is your guess on these guys?
Well, Frank, I can tell you, you're not the only one asking that because my office made me play out the entire schedule yesterday.
Okay.
And I had him at 10. I had him at 10-7.
Okay.
And we went through it with Hayes and Mike DeRocco and Mark Woods yesterday when I did that. And when I said 10-7, you guys looked at me and said, well. And then when you go through the schedule, you go, it's possible. And particularly as they navigate the early part of the schedule, because I think the schedule at the end of the year is really favorable. I don't love the division. I know everybody, and I was doing a show today driving down, and they were talking about the Texans. I don't love the Texans like everybody else does, so I think the division's wide open. You could go 4-2 in that division, and I think that would be a good year for them. And I don't like, you look at the Texans. I mean, the Texans have questions on the offensive line. The Titans have a rookie quarterback and other issues. The Colts, Daniel Jones, and by the way, when was the last time they won a division? When Andrew Luck was there. And so I think it's a great opportunity. Then you get some of those games are favorable for Jacksonville if they can navigate the early part of the schedule.
What's your impression on how the running back work will go between Etienne, Bigsby, Bashal Tootin, and LeQuinn Allen?
Well, I wasn't there when he said this, but I guess he told you guys. I guess Trevor's face lit up when he talked about Tootin today, right?
Yeah, the speed.
Yeah, and that's noticeable on the practice field. But again, you can't tell until they put the pads on. But I will say this, I think they have big plans for Allen at third down back. I really do. I think he's going to end up, which brings an interesting dynamic into play. What do you do if you keep Allen, Tootin, and do you keep both the veteran backs? I mean, that's asking a lot, I think. So that'll be an interesting if those guys put the pads on and do what those guys think they can do, then you have a decision because I don't think you're keeping 4 backs. I mean, you can, but I don't know if they will.
Defensively, what are their biggest concerns?
I think interior of the defensive line has to take the step forward. I think that that starts with Armstead moving in there, Hamilton being healthier and better, and Mason Smith going to the next level. And if that happens, they'll be better. But can you count on that? And can you count on all of it? And so that becomes a question because run defense has been a problem for a while. And if you can't stop the run, you're not going to be able to turn the pass rushers loose. So I think that's, to me, the number one focus is being able to stop the run and being dominant, getting some push on the interior. If they can do that, we know the edge guys will get it going, particularly now that they're lighter.
What do you make of this story in Cincinnati with Shamar Stewart? He leaves the the mandatory minicamp today. They haven't signed him. He was the 17th pick in the draft. Boys, I mean, there's been some peculiar stories in Cincinnati, but boy, that's an interesting one.
By the way, there's another guy that's not signed either, right?
Yeah, but he's at least practicing.
Yeah. It's a weird story. And again, everybody will say, well, it's the Bengals, it's the Bengals, it's the Bengals. The Bengals have changed their organization. I mean, they went out and paid 2 wide receivers and paid them a boatload of money. So anybody, and the quarterback. So anybody sits there and says they won't pay, that's not true. The Hendrickson situation is interesting, but this kid, you're going to slot it. You're slotted in, give him the slot. I don't know what he's complaining about. What the structure, the money up front.
Offset language, I would guess. I mean,
but he's a raw football player. If you watch him, his instincts are terrible. He's a wonderfully talented player, but his instincts are awful. And he's got to be practicing. That's a bad move on the kid's part, and bad advice from the agent.
It'll be very interesting to see the way this plays. Aaron Rodgers is now in Pittsburgh. He went to a mini camp. It was kind of weird. Apparently, he and DK Metcalf had been throwing, so maybe everybody knew he was going to sign with them except us, the public. What do you make of what's going to happen there?
Frank, I think he played well down the stretch last year. And it took him a while. I don't think he was ever truly comfortable in that, getting going after the injury. And you remember he talked about the year before coming back, and that was all budget. No way. The way he played last year, there's no way. And so I think he did play well down the stretch, and Jacksonville saw that when they played him. He threw 13 touchdown passes and 4 picks in the last 7 games. He also threw more touchdown passes than Mahomes and Herbert and some of the other guys. So he wasn't bad last year. So he's an upgrade. I mean, Mason Rudolph, give me a break. He's clearly an upgrade. The problem with Pittsburgh is they have other issues. The run defense wasn't great. They didn't rush the passer like they normally do, in large part because the run defense wasn't great. And they didn't run the ball like they normally do, and that's their identity. So having him, yes, it's good for them, but they better fix the rest of that other stuff that's been their calling card for so many years.
Will Houston be able to protect C.J. Stroud this year?
It's funny. They went out and they think they upgraded their offensive line. Did they get better? Is Cam Robinson better than Laramie Tunsil? No. Is Ed Ingram better than whoever played at right guard last year? I mean, they struggled at that spot. But he's not very good. So I don't know if they've gotten any better on the offensive line. And I'm concerned about the offensive line. He was sped up last year. He didn't play very well. He got hit a bunch. They didn't protect him. And so I think that remains their biggest concern. Can they protect C.J. Stroud? Can he come out from where he was a year ago and get back to where he was the year before? That's the question because of that offensive line.
All right, NFL right around the corner. The teams break for about 5 weeks now after these mini camps are over. Camp will be here before you know it. What I want to know, are you and Casey heading west to Sunrise? Are you going to Sunrise tonight? I figure tailgating. What do you figure, Hayes? They tailgate a little bit?
I think better some be on the way.
Beer and nachos.
We're 2 hours and 50 minutes away.
Are we headed to Sunrise or not tonight?
No. We're going to be on the couch.
I mean, no.
On the couch. We're going to be on the couch. I'm going to be on the couch.
Okay.
Did you go to the parade last year?
We were going to go, but remember it poured.
Yeah, it looked like we were in the Turks and Caicos, but we watched a little bit of it from there because that's the way it worked out. Their local TV had it, and it was phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, we were going to go, but remember, it was so bad that day. I mean,
it was
complete. And then you think about being on the beach, standing there with lightning coming because it was storming too. It wasn't just rain. And so we decided not to go, but I might if they get that one this year, I might make my way out there.
You and Paul Maurice on the stage.
Do the beloved Panthers go up 3-1?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And it's going to be a lower scoring game tonight. You watch. It'll be much more lower scoring, and it'll be probably 3-1 Panthers, 3-2, something like that. It's going to be a tough game, but they'll find a way to win it.
Hey, here's my recommendation to you. Don't call Prisco tonight after 8, okay?
No.
But if you had a question for him, he can wait till tomorrow. He'll be locked in.
I got my the good luck white puck sits over there by the table, and so I got that going. I got 2 sticks, little mini sticks. I got a hockey stick, the goalie stick, and then I got the little regular one. It's all right there.
He's a diehard Pete Prisco.
You'd have been a great hockey player.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pete would have been.
Can you
great.
imagine
Could you skate?
Prisco just taking out an entire team?
When
you
we
skate?
were kids, we skated.
Oh, you did?
We skated. In fact, me and Casey went over to the Panthers facility. They have open skate, and we went over there about It was like right when it opened last summer, and we skated. She hasn't skated much, so she wasn't very good.
Right.
But I could still skate. Yeah.
Prisco would have been a goon, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He just sent him
I
in,
would have
wouldn't
been
you?
you know who I would have been? I tell you exactly who. It would have been Marshawn. That's who I would have been. Little sniper, he's talking smack, hitting guys low. Taking a stick in the knee. That's who I would have been.
Pete Prisco from CBSSports.com. Pete, enjoy the game tonight, buddy. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, Pete Prisco checking in. It's always brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. They are the best. I promise you they're the best. If you're a collectible, if you're a fan of a team, if you love to collect memorabilia, autographs, authenticated, the real stuff, big store with so much to choose from, you need to get to Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on Phillips Highway, right at the end of Shad Road. We'll take a break. Hayes has headlines after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Summer on the First Coast is sensational. 1010XL.
Watch the Stanley Cup Final at the brand new Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo. Specials include $1 wings and $3 drafts for the Stanley Cup Final at Front Runners Tap House.
Poker fans, ready to ride the waves and win big? Join us at Best Bet St. Augustine for the Summer Splash giveaway. Over $40,000 in prizes are up for grabs, including a 2025 Yamaha Wave Runner. Join us now through August 8th to earn entries into the big giveaways. Every hour of poker play and table game play earns you an entry. The more you play, the more chances to win. Come play and win big at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Hello, I'm attorney Malcolm Anthony. Being charged with domestic violence can turn your life upside down. If you're in trouble, call me Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Go ahead and dial it.
Dial what? When you call in your opinion or hear an interesting interview from a sports insider on Jaguars Today or XL Primetime, you're getting it straight from the Checkmate Coatings phone line all day, every day on 1010XL.
It's the event everyone waits for. Now at Beard's Diamonds. Buy one, get one free on all wedding bands. Now for a limited time, when you buy his wedding band, get hers free. Buy hers, get his free. Save up to $10,000. Are you about to get married or been married for years thinking it's time for an upgrade? There's nothing that symbolizes your love more than the wedding band. Beard's has hundreds and hundreds of bands from top designers in white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, titanium, platinum, plain bands, channel set bands, pave set, eternity bands. And for men, masculine bands, wide, modern, with and without diamonds, hammered, brushed, engraved, lots of colors. Come to Beard's now and find the wedding band that reflects your style and your personality. Buy one, get the second one free. The big box corporate jewelry stores can't or won't do this, but Beard's can. And it's happening now through June 23rd. Buy one wedding band, get the second one free. Don't miss this opportunity to celebrate your eternal love with the eternal symbol. Beard's Diamonds at St. John's Town Center.
Hey, Jacksonville Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
As
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
How likely is it to live to be 100 years old? The answer coming up.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In the United States, about 5% of women live to be 100, but only 1.8% of men.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frangie, and JJ LaSelva. I am Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we made it through. The offseason is over. Minicamp has wrapped. How do you feel about the club? Get the good and maybe the bad of where the Jaguars stand as we go into summer break.
Yeah, I'm at good and unknown. There's nothing I think is bad, and it never is in June, by the way. The good, I like the vibe. I like where I think they are from a culture standpoint. I like a lot of the pieces. I think Trevor's going to step up and have a big year. The running back room is really deep. I love the receiver room. I love the defensive ends in the middle, linebacker, and one of the cornerbacks. There's a lot of good pieces. There's unknown. I don't know if the offensive line will be a good bit better, and I sure hope it is. I don't know about the defensive tackle position. That's the big unknown to me. I'm interested to see what winds up happening at safety and at the other corner. So I find myself with some unknowns, but to see what we have seen so far, the vibe, the culture, the momentum, I think is very good. That's the only thing you can really measure now, and I like where they are with regard to that.
Travis Hunter did something that we hadn't seen before today at practice. He switched sides. In the middle of practice, he went from offense to defense. This was head coach Liam Cohen talking about that after practice.
Yeah, I think so. That's definitely what we have to build towards for training camp, and then obviously in season, knowing that during practice he's going to have to do both. And so he wants to do it. It's not as if it's something where he can't handle. He wants to go and do that more. He wants more, and that's a good thing. But ultimately, we have to also protect him from himself at times as well, and make sure we get out of this phase healthy. But that is absolutely the plan moving forward.
Yeah, the big question will be, we've talked about it 1,000 times, and I'm not sure they're going to know. I've said this, Hayes, we've all said it. I'm not sure they're going to know this until it's time to play. But what will the load be? I'll stand by what I said all along. I'll stand by slot receiver, catch a bunch of passes, but not as many passes as Brian Thomas Jr. Play corner when they need him. Third down, fourth down, red zone, late game, maybe late in the half. that's when I think you're going to see him defensively.
Trevor Lawrence spoke after practice and was asked about De'Ami Brown, who you've been very high on. And Trevor Lawrence says De'Ami Brown is always in the right spot.
Man, I've been super impressed with him. His speed, obviously, is a threat down the field, which is important as a receiver, can stretch the field. But also, he's a really, really smart football player. You know, he's picked up the system really quickly. He's always in the right spot. I think that's something about him. I don't know if you guys watched plenty of practices. He's gotten the ball a lot because it seems like he's always in the right spot. He's always has a feel for the zone, like where to sit, where to throttle, you know, kind of those voids. And I just think he's really smart, and I'm really excited adding him to the offense, to the weapons that we already have. You know, it's exciting.
He has gotten the ball a lot. Trevor said, he's essentially Trevor said, I don't know if you guys noticed. Well, yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, he's gotten the ball a lot. You know how I feel. I think he's the best player on the team that nobody's talking about, and I really believe that.
Let's get into Around the NFL. We've touched on this story over the last couple of days, but it's so bizarre. Shamar Stewart, Cincinnati's first-round pick, who they took 17th overall in the draft, left Bengals camp today over basically a contract dispute, and no one really is exactly sure what the issue is. Stewart has talked openly about he's got support from the veterans in the locker room. I'm assuming it's offset language. I know the Chargers in the past have had some rookie deals take longer because of that. But what just an bizarre situation in Cincinnati. Imagine if you had that happening here. Forget that it's even the Travis Hunter year, but in any year, imagine the first round pick not practicing because of a contract issue.
Yeah, there's been over the years before everything was so slotted. There have been first round holdouts. It's not new to the sport. It's new for the first time in a while. I think it's the conversation, the chirping, I think, is what's made it odd. I mean, you don't hear a rookie that's never played it down in the NFL rip a team very often. He's ripped a team. He's never played it down in the league, and he said they'd rather win an argument than win games. That's a bizarre thing for a rookie who's never played for your team to say. That was what makes it so odd to me.
And again, it's got a big local tie. The Jaguars go to Cincinnati in week 2. If you get a win, that is a massive feather for Liam Cohen right out of the gate, particularly if they're able to take care of business in week 1 at home against Carolina. I mean, if they come back from Cincinnati 2-0, and again, Cincinnati may score 38. I mean, they've got that great offense, but the Trey Hendrickson thing,
I think so.
The Shamar Stewart thing, and Cincinnati doesn't have a good defense to begin with.
Yeah, something feels I agree with you, Hayes. Something feels unsettled there. Look, they got a great quarterback and some great receivers, but they don't have all that much great around those three players. I'm with you on this. Something feels unsettled there. The two defensive situations, the circumstances you just talked about. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it all comes together for the Bengals this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's get into the NBA. The Pacers take down the Thunder 116-107 to take a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Indiana outscored Oklahoma City 32-18 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I think that bench, Halliburton had the big fourth quarter, but the bench, I think, is really good. Look, there are teams of destiny. I know it's a cliche. There are teams that you can't imagine why they're still playing, and you look up and they're holding the trophy. I thought Oklahoma City was going to roll them last night, and then they were off and running. I still would pick Oklahoma City to win the series, but the Thunder better get going, because now tomorrow night's game is the most important game in Thunder history, by the way. It's now the most important game in the history of the franchise, or certainly the franchise since they moved in from Seattle, I'll tell you that. Because think about it. You lose tomorrow night, you're not winning the series. So you get down 3-1, you're probably not winning the series. So tomorrow night has become the most important game that franchise has ever played.
Yeah, without a doubt. We'll give you our Loser Monday update from the NBA Finals. Frank is still in first with 167 points. I have 150 points. JJ has 124 points, so still a lot of basketball to be played.
Yeah, and I get a hunch Loser Monday is going to be pretty interesting before it's over. I just get a hunch that we're all kind of lumped in there close enough together. I love it. I love it. Look, I'll have a dramatic Loser Monday because the last ones haven't been dramatic. I've been on my way to Bono's too early in the week.
Let's get into college basketball. Defending national champion Florida will travel to Duke, and we now know what day that will be. Tuesday, December 2nd, is part of the SEC-ACC Challenge, really the headliner matchup. Some other notable matchups. Georgia will play at Florida State, also on Tuesday, December 2nd. North Carolina goes to Kentucky. Louisville plays at Arkansas. Clemson goes to Alabama, and Tennessee will head to Syracuse.
Okay, I got a couple thoughts. First of all, it's clear now, just based on what you just read off, that everyone's trying to load up their schedules. But did Florida overschedule, maybe?
No.
You don't think?
No. Florida did not overschedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Maybe you're right, but boy, it is a loaded schedule.
They're all spaced out, I think, enough to where you get a couple of weeks at each point. And I like the fact they're going to see a lot of different styles, which I think is important when you get into the tournament, to at least have some film, even if it's December film, that you can go back to and say, okay, well, this team plays like kind of Duke wants to, or this team plays like UConn wants to, that more of a deliberate style. I think that's beneficial to see different styles at a really high level when you are preparing. Again, you don't have a lot of time in the NCAA tournament once you get into it. I mean, the second game in your week is, it comes less than 48 hours after you win. So I like it. I don't at all think that I wouldn't probably add anything else.
Yeah.
But I think playing Arizona and UConn and Duke is your three toughest games. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, we'll see. I think as a fan, I love it. And look, they're going to be in the tournament anyway, so why not get to the tournament battle tested?
I think it makes them better.
Yeah, I will. It will. Yeah. I will say this: if you're not a veteran, talented team, it can break you. I've seen that too. I thought it happened in North Carolina last year. I think Kentucky a little bit last year. Both overscheduled and never really got their feet under them after the overscheduling. But yeah, if Florida's as good as Todd Golden thinks they are, then they're going to be battle tested as well.
Former Tennessee star basketball player Zakai Ziegler denied injunction as he appeals for more eligibility. So it's not looking like Ziegler will be able to cash one more big check as a collegiate.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, Hayes. As you've said many times, maybe one day it'll change to where you can play as long as you want. But we're not ready for that yet. This is the first guy that's come along, and he's not claiming hardship for injury. He's not claiming that a junior college year shouldn't count, as Diego Pavia did. This is the guy that just said, hey, I want to keep playing. And I'm glad that didn't happen. We may get there one day, but I don't know anybody who's rooting for this one to happen. Maybe Tennessee fans, so you can give him back. But I don't know that, big picture, if you don't have a connection, I don't know that anybody was sitting around hoping that the story changed that dramatically this year.
Let's get to the U.S. Open. Obviously, we have our fantastic updates, so won't go too much into the leaderboard, but I did want to touch on Rory McIlroy. Started strong, birdied his first 2 holes, and was 2 under through his first 9. He started on the back 9, but was 2 under through his first 9 holes played today, but really struggled down the stretch to a 4 over 74. Still hard to get really a read on where McIlroy's game is.
Which meant he was 6 over on the back.
Right.
And so, which is hard to do. I mean, if you think about it, it really is. So really, as you watch, as by the way, Scheffler just bogeyed. I missed a putt he rarely would miss. It's a hard golf course. I don't think this is the barometer for Rory. He's had a little swoon here. But if he plays badly again, if he misses another cut, or if he misses a cut here, then you got to sit back and think, what's going on with Rory McIlroy after the surging start to his season? It's changed dramatically.
We have a Loser Monday update part 2 as we give you the latest at the U.S. Open. So, Frank, your guy, Bryson DeChambeau, is the only one that is done for the day. He played in the morning and was 3 over, 2 birdies, 5 bogeys on the card for the reigning U.S. Open champion. JJ's guy, Colin Morikawa, I think is playing really well. He's even right now.
He's actually
he just bogeyed. As you were reading that,
he's bogeyed 2 in a row.
He was kind enough to bogey.
All right.
As you were reading that, Scheffler was kind enough to bogey. So please keep reading.
I will be happy to. Scheffler is getting ready to bogey as well, we believe. I guess he could double. Yeah. But a bogey, if he makes this putt, will put him at 2 over. So right now, JJ leads at 1 over with Morikawa. Scheffler, who I've got, is 2 over. We'll see if he makes this putt.
He did.
And he does.
And by the way, the guy I was
Frank, your
going
guy,
to take,
DeChambeau, 3 over.
John
Yes.
Rahm, is about to be 3 under.
Really?
Of course he is.
Yes.
Wow.
I knew it.
And it always that way. And you even predicted that, by the
I knew
way.
it.
Let's get to the NHL. Defending champion Florida Panthers try to take a 3-1 lead on Edmonton tonight in Sunrise.
Yeah.
Will they do it?
And well, the belief is that they will. The belief is that they're the better team. And it really is. I was thinking about this earlier today because I knew we were talking to Pete today. I don't follow it very closely, obviously. But it's pretty amazing, or maybe amazing is the wrong word, but it's pretty interesting to me that if the Panthers win this thing and go back-to-back, that the Lightning and the Panthers, 2 teams in Florida, okay, where there's not a lot of ice.
Right.
Have been dominant franchises for a stretch in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, think about it. Think about how good the Lightning were.
Yeah.
In the last 20 years.
I think a Florida team's been in the Stanley Cup final the last 6 years.
Think about that.
It's amazing.
We're in Florida. You got no ice.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of transplants that grew up in New Jersey, now live here.
Yeah.
You got no ice.
And Canada
you got no snow, got no ice.
Hasn't had the cup since 1993.
And you got all kind of ice. You got ice everywhere. It's pretty amazing. It really is.
It really is. We'll get you out on our musical note of the day. Happy birthday to the late, great Brad Delp, who was born in 1951. Wow. The Boston frontman would have been 74 today. He died in 2007. This classic, More Than a Feeling, was the first single off the band's debut album released back in September of 1976.
Brad Delp had a voice like very few others. Tragically died of suicide. Mental health was a factor. A bad relationship was the impetus for it. And the rock world lost one of the great voices, a Steve Perry-like voice, a Steve Perry quality caliber voice before the band ever really got going. And that's really a sad thing. He would have been the Steve Perry of that generation before Steve Perry if we hadn't lost Brad Delp way too early. Well done, Shay Hayes. Appreciate that. We'll come back and wrap up the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NBA Finals continuing on Friday night as the Indiana Pacers host the Oklahoma City Thunder. On Wednesday, Game 3, the Pacers beat the Thunder 116-107, taking a 2-1 series lead. Benedict Mathurin led the Pacers with 27 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 22. They outscored the Thunder by 14 points in the fourth quarter. The Thunder, despite being down in the series, are a 5.5-point favorite in the contest and are minus 230 on the money line. The Pacers are plus 195, and the over-under for Game 4 is at 225.5. The Thunder are minus 220 to win the NBA title. The Pacers plus 185. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Got a leaky faucet, AC blowing hot air, a funky smelling septic tank? No worries, Duck Duck Rooter has your back. We're your one-stop shop for plumbing, septic, and air conditioning, so you can stop juggling 3 companies and just make one easy call. Our expert techs are fast, friendly, and really know their ducks. I mean stuff. Call 904-862-6769 or visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, AC, and a whole lot of quacking good service.
This U.S. Open update on 1010XL is brought to you by TopDressing.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 125th U.S. Open Golf Championship. J.J. Spawn posted a 4-under-66 in the morning and then was threatened by Sungjae Im, who got to that number after a birdie on his 10th hole. Then made another at 2, his 11th hole of the day, to get to -5. Amelia Duran had the on Sirius XM.
Putt behind the ball now. This will be a quick one. 7 feet for the solo lead, Sungjae Im. Ball on the way towards the cup, gathering speed, and he's got it. Walks it in. Sungjae Im is your solo leader at 5 under par.
Tristan Lawrence posted 3 under 67. Siwoo Kim at 68. Ben Griffin and Thomas Dietrich behind them at 1 under 69. With this report on the U.S. Open, I'm Whit Watson, Westwood One Sports.
When Ram won its first Motor Trend Truck of the Year, it was celebrated. But after 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. And now, so does the deal with Employee Pricing Plus. Stop by your local dealer today and take home a Ram truck. Ram, 7-time Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Nothing stops Ram.
Offer valid on select 2024 and 2025 Rams for non-FCA employees and retirees. $200 admin fee applies. Not all buyers will qualify. Restrictions apply. Does not apply to leases. See dealer for details. And 6/30/25. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Looking for summer fun the whole family can enjoy? Check out Wick, a candle bar. Make your own custom candles and body care products in store at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
I'm Max Fink. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus, right now you choose a pre-owned 2023 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till January 2026? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Are you struggling with hair loss?
At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women. With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Been a busy show today. We have talked U.S. Open golf. Lee Smith was here. He's our golf analyst and, of course, the executive director of the Players Championship. Pete Prisco did Thursday instead of Friday. It was good to have Pete on the program today, talking NFL after he had been here watching the Jags in practice back-to-back days, and we did that a little bit with Pete. We talked a little bit, obviously, about a little hockey tonight. Got to drop that in there. And about the NBA Finals, which suddenly are very, very good. All that and more today on the program. We'll say hello to Rick Ballou in just a minute. Do want to remind you tomorrow, we're really excited about this. We're heading down to St. Augustine to the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootouts presented by Yellowfin. We'll be live from the Miller Lite kickoff party, the captain's meeting right there at the Boathouse. We were there last year in St. Augustine. You know St. Augustine better than I do. It's a great area, isn't it?
It's so much fun.
It really, really is. If you want to find out more about it, you can still register, by the way, oldschoolkingfish.com. The grand prize is a 21-foot yellowfin bay boat, 200 horsepower Yamaha engine. I'm telling you now, there's over $240,000 in cash and prizes at this thing. Think about that for a second. $240,000 in cash and prizes. Junior angler prizes for the top 25. Lady angler cash payouts for the top 10. The overall cash payout is 25 places deep. My goodness, what a fun time. I know a bunch of people that are fishing in this thing already. Lee Smith, our friend, said he's going to be down there. You know, the Ricketts Electric boys are all going to be down there. So it's really a fun event. So you can still get involved in it. And we're thrilled that we'll go live. We'll bring Paul Dozier on the air to talk about it a little bit. That comes up tomorrow. So come see us in St. Augustine. We're always looking forward to it and really looking forward to it. Paul Dozier, who's a great friend, Lauren Nimnick Dozier, his wife, who does so much of the work building that thing and putting that thing together. They do it together, and they do a wonderful job. So it's going to be an awful lot of fun. I look forward to getting down there tomorrow. Jags are off the field now, 5 weeks. They got five or so weeks where they can just relax. Stay in shape. Liam Combs said something interesting. The obligation now is to stay in shape. You don't want training camp to be there. Training camp's not to get you in shape. You come to training camp in shape and get to work. That was an interesting comment today, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, absolutely, and he's right. And I'm sure that he's going to spell that out even clearer for the team as they break. And really, it's going to be imperative for the rookies to really stay involved in the playbook. That's where Trevor, I thought, made a good point today in terms of the new scheme and how the rookies have handled it, because, he was like, we've been here. The veterans have been here since the start. So, we were here in phase one of OTAs, which occur before the draft. So the rookies get drafted and they show up and they're sort of having to get up to speed. And by that point, they're not getting the softballs that the veterans were getting when we were first getting introduced to this. So, there's obviously it's a monumental challenge for Travis Hunter because he's trying to master two positions. But for guys like Bashul Tootin, I think if Tootin can get to a point where the coaches trust him, I think he has an excellent chance to be the leading rusher here.
Yeah, we heard from him today, Bashul Tootin, one of the young players that the Jags are very, very excited about. All right, let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Rick's on the road today. Rick, tell us where you are. What's coming up tonight, man?
Yeah, we got a lot of fun. I mean, this facility is out of just incredible. The Front Runner Grill here at the Community First Igloo.
Yeah.
We got $3 drafts. We got dollar wings. It's going to be cranked up here for the next several hours. And what they're doing is really previewing Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. Can Florida go up 3-1 right here overlooking the rink? Actually, a couple of rinks. And, they really have done a bang-up job with this place. This is my first opportunity to get here, and I got to say I'm totally impressed. So already a good crowd here watching the United States Open, enjoying themselves. But the big one tonight, Frank, is hockey, Game 4, Stanley Cup Final.
Everybody be locked in. We've been out there before, Rick, and it's a wonderful place, and I'm glad you're getting a chance to head to the Igloo. Well done, as always. Rick, have fun tonight, man. Talk a little puck. We'll see you, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right, Rick Ballou is live at the Igloo, and it's going to be a big night talking a little puck. Rick, is going to wrap up the Jaguar training camp as well. All that and more coming up on Rick Ballou as he goes into the night, so don't go anywhere. Folks, that'll do it for our program. We're glad you've been part of it. We've certainly enjoyed it here today on the program. Tomorrow, live from the Daly's I'll get it out, I can say it, from the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout is presented by Yellowfin. We can't wait to get down to St. Augustine tomorrow. We're out of here. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie reminding you, don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou is next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.